Disclaimer. We do not own or claim ownership of the Pokemon franchise and any Pokemon established in official canon. That's all owned by Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. This is just a podcast made by 4 friends who love Pokemon. It's our love letter to a franchise most of us grew up with. So please go support the official release. Previously on PKMN Legacy.
We begin my conquest of this town's gym.
I guess you found Wendy then, huh? She's come back a whole different trainer.
Just to give you guys a heads up, this gym leader likes to use fairy types.
I accept this opportunity to totally kick your butts. Let's rock and roll, Krakoon.
I love Sly Cooper.
Goonie's head reels back. Use disarming voice.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we won, guys.
Goonie for the clutch.
Here you go, the Sweet Tooth badge.
Woo! I think we should go north. Then we can go everywhere else after that.
And you take the rest of the night off after a well-fought battle. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. You're all fast asleep in your cots at the Pokemon Center when suddenly you are stirred awake by this...
Boom!
Did you guys hear that?
Oh, what was that?
I don't know.
Are we under attack?
No.
Is it a Pokemon or is it a person? I don't know.
Excuse me.
What's that?
Chris is going to rub his eyes and slowly do that whole old man walk, touch his back, and slowly make his way out to the outside to see what happened.
And as you open the door to your little room, you hear some fast-paced footsteps of a few 3 or 4 trainers running past you.
I want Chris to try and see if he can get a good look at least one of them, find something distinctive, or would it be too dark for him to see? Or...
Oh no, it's lit in the hallway here.
Oh, okay.
No, the lights are working just fine.
Oh.
No, and from the looks of it, they're all dressed in a hurry, with their packs on, ready to head out the door, rather excitedly by the looks of it.
Should we know what's going on here?
I think, I could probably go and ask someone what's happening, or we could just go back to sleep.
Let's go! And Maddie just runs out after them.
How did I know that was gonna happen?
Still in her PJs?
Oh, absolutely still in her PJs.
Perfect. You run out to the main lobby of the Pokemon Center. Nurse Joy is rubbing the sleep from her eyes as she sees the several trainers that have gotten up, tightening their gear, ready to head out the door. And she just nods and just kind of tries to put her head back down and return to her rest.
Maddie's gonna go up to her before she can get back to sleep and ask what's going on.
Are you doing okay? That cough sounds pretty serious.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, well, if you say so.
I think it's just cold outside. I'm fine.
I mean, I think it's a bit nippy, but okay.
Anyway, what's going on out there?
Oh, those are just star runners. That's it.
The what?
Well, Appalachia region's kind of a hot spot for shooting stars. Sometimes they land, and they try to run after it before.
What? I love shooting stars!
And she falls back into her seat.
Where can I go see them?
I mean, you can try to get there before anyone else does, but usually.
And Maddie just runs off.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't even let her finish. And you just hear.
Are you okay there? You've kind of been coughing, a lot today. In the past 5 minutes.
Let's go!
Chris walks over to Nurse Joy. I am very sorry, but could I trouble you for some cough medicine? I feel like we're gonna need it.
She opens up her drawer and pulls out a big bag of cough drops and just hands it to you. Lemon honey flavored.
You're too kind. Thank you. And takes the bag and then follows wherever Maddie is going because, dear God, he was not prepared for any of this.
Okay, so Maddie, where are you running off to?
I'm following the crowd, so
It seems that many of them are heading over to the north side of town past the gate and into the forest north of Grayburg town.
Okay. All right, Maddie. What are you trying to do? Something about
I want to go see the shooting stars.
I can't believe they have actual meteorites that light here. Imagine what you can learn from them.
Okay, I get the excitement, but couldn't we have done this when I wasn't having such a nice dream?
Well, you can go back to bed. I'm going to go.
I'm going to.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're already here. We might as well see what's happening.
Just give me a second, because someone has opened the garage door.
Yeah, I hear that.
I thought that was part of the game, the sound effects.
I did too. I was going to be like, that is going to be an interesting boss battle. My God.
Yep, Mecha Pikachu coming in hot.
Christ, it's Dynamaxed.
Pee. Anywho, the three of you are running coughedly, drowsily into the woods. And then you guys stop. Quick question. Does anyone have a flashlight?
Wait, do our Rotoms not double as a flashlight?
I mean, they have basic flashlights, but you have battery life on those.
I know what I could do. So I want to look around for any kind of stick that's here.
Haha!
A stick in the middle of the woods, I don't think that's going to cut it.
Oh, darn. Wow. I guess I just can't get it. He just punches the ground and just picks up a stick.
Just pops right up.
Awesome. Throws out his Pokeball. Ginger pops out, and he wants her to use a light bit of fire just to sort of make it into a makeshift torch.
She spits out a bit of fire on the torch. It glows very softly with her embers.
He gives Ginger a nice pat on the head, scritches her ear, and then puts her back in the bowl.
You now have a faint glow to make sure you don't trip over anything dangerous.
All right, Maddie, lead the way.
Are we at the base of the woods below Rusted Town?
You kind of ran into the woods, so you have the path. You don't know in which general direction besides that a ways, as I wave my hands around wildly, to which nobody can see, as to where to go.
But there is a path in front of us.
There is a path.
I mean, I guess the best course of action for now is to stay on the path.
Okay. So I want you to make just make a careful check.
Okay.
Just make sure you don't trip over anything.
Oh, no.
Tell me what you've rolled.
I rolled a -5.
Yes, you did.
So, can I make it? So let's get this sickness into the game, shall we? Can I, Maddie's gonna cough and potentially disturb something in the forest because she's too loud.
As you hack up a storm, you see...
There.
And suddenly the mushrooms around you perk up and scurry away from you.
Come back! I'm sorry!
You chase after them?
Yes. I'm not sick!
I knew I should have went back to bed.
So with a sick, feverish Maddie leading the party, Chris, Velma, I want you two to make quick checks. Trying to keep up with Maddie.
Oh, he old.
Oh.
Oh, he old and tired.
So, Velma got a 2. Chris, you got a -4.
Mm-hmm.
And you got no fate points to spend on that.
Nope.
I think... Oh, speaking of which, the way you get fate points back is if you do something really cool.
What did I do to
or
get my
if
fate point back?
You don't have any fate points to lose right now, because you have all 3.
I know, but do I replenish them every game? Because I've used one before.
Oh, you have?
I'm pretty sure I used one.
Oh, then you're at 2 then instead of 3.
I shouldn't have said anything.
So if you want to get fate points back, You either take a complication, which you can suggest as well, or you do something really, really cool that impresses me so much that I'd give you a fate point.
I have an idea. I think me utilizing my downfall of illness should get me a fate point back. Don't you think? Don't you think?
Let me...
You know, you know, you know.
Anywho,
Dang it.
I got something planned for you, don't worry. So, Chris, with that -4, Maddie deliriously stumbles her way deeper into the woods off the beaten path. Velma barrels after her, leaving you by yourself.
All I imagine is Chris tries to run and he's like, wait, wait a minute, no, should have stretched.
Why are they walking?
Whatever you do, don't get yourself killed. Please.
I don't like that sound.
Velma's just walking over to Maddie's side, just trying to watch her to make sure she's not wobbling over the fall.
She face plants.
Oh boy. You know, all things considered, I should have saw this coming.
But they were walking.
Yeah, they were. Alright, let's get you back up.
They were mushrooms and they were walking.
Yes, they were. Velma just tries to take one of Maddie's arms and using her little kid body trying to lift her up and try to get her standing back on her feet with what little strength she has.
Forceful check, go!
Chi-Chi, use forceful check.
Forceful check.
No!
Share with the class what you got.
I got -1.
You sure did.
So I believe the way this gets tackled is that Velma's desperately trying to lift her up, but in the process of it, she slips and falls down herself.
Chris, when you eventually catch up with the rest of the group, you find a very delirious Maddie on top of a very grumpy Velma.
I want peanuts.
He's just staring at them. He doesn't say anything out loud. He just, in his mind, he's like, I really should have never woke up tonight.
Velma just turns to Chris with this deep, I'm so done with this glare, and tries to reach her hand out to him without saying a word.
Chris kneels down, has the torch above his head, and says,
Fire!
Now what did we learn?
Fire.
Don't go running without you.
But the mushrooms were walking, and they don't do that.
Just help me out of here already!
Chris takes Velma's hand and lifts her up and helps Maddie up afterwards.
Thanks.
Chris, since you seem to be the one with the most sense out of the three of you, what's the game plan for the rest of the morning?
After Chris gives Maddie about 5 cough drops, just because he's like, just don't worry, we have a lot of cough drops.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now then, could you please explain to me why you were chasing mushrooms?
They had legs. I wanted to see them.
Are you sure they had legs? Are you sure you
Well,
weren't
they were running.
running, or were you hallucinating?
No, they were running. I promise.
Okay. They were running.
Should probably saw some Pokemon or something.
Gonna start looking around, waving his torch, just kind of seeing his surroundings. Does he see anything sort of outstanding or distinctive that might be out of whack for a wooded area?
Other than the few Hoot and other such nocturnal, peaceful, docile Pokemon about, nothing of note.
Great.
Is there a path still?
Oh, you're off the path.
Amazing. Is there any? Can I roll a perception check?
I think you're pretty much out of it right now.
Dang it! I'm useless.
Chris, still holding the torch, just pulls out his Pokeball once again. Out pops Ginger. And he pats her head again, and he's like, Ginger, sweetie, I know it's late. I know you don't normally wake up around this time, but I need you to do me a huge favor. And he pulls out the bag of cough drops Nurse Joy gave him so that she can find where her scent is back to the Pokemon Center, so that they at least they get out of the wooded area without, being too lost.
I need you to make a careful check, or a clever check, whichever one.
Okay. That is a full 5.
Good enough for me. So yeah, Ginger takes a couple careful sniffs with her odor sleuth, and with a few quick points the way back to the trail and back to the Pokemon Center. And we're back in the pause menu. My voice sounds kind of scratchy. Okay. Hi there. KayVox here. Hope you're liking the show. One thing I feel I need to mention, when we were recording this session, the reason that Ariana coughs so much is because she was going through a nasty cold back then. And keep in mind, this was recorded in November, December, sometime around then, back when COVID-19 wasn't a major concern in our lives. And I feel it's important to mention this because I don't want to come off as like we're making fun of COVID-19 and people suffering through this whole pandemic, because that's not cool. It was just a cold and we played along with it. Now that all being said, stay safe out there. Do proper hygiene stuff. Wash your hands with soap. Don't cough at people. Wear your mask. All that good jazz. Just stay safe. I love you. Okay, what else? One change we are making is with how we name our NPCs. Beforehand, if you were supporting us on Patreon, we would enter your name into a little raffle, and we might use your name as one of our NPCs. Now, we're still doing that, but there's not enough names on our Patreon base to fill a whole story. So we're opening it up to the public the same way that the Adventure Zone does, because I like that show, so why not? So, if you mention or share about our podcast with the hashtag PKMNLegacy on Twitter, then we might use your name as one of our NPCs. Now, Patreon supporters are still going to get a bit of a higher priority, but again, not enough names there to fill a whole story. Speaking of our Patreon supporters, for those who subscribe at the $5 and up Great Baller tier, you have access to the bonus tidbit that came out last week. During that one, I reflected on the game design elements of this campaign, going deep into the core mechanics and how honestly I could probably do better with that. So if you want to hear me talk crap about myself like the dummy I am, then go check that out. And for our $10 and up Ultra Baller tier supporters, it's time to give a shout out to those guys. And their names are Donkey Oto and Dongo the King. So thank you two so much, and thank all our Patreon supporters. And you know what? I'm just going to go a bit crazy here. Thank you to everyone who watches the show, even if you don't support us on Patreon. Because you enjoying the show is reward enough. Though it would be really cool if you shared the show with your friends on Twitter and stuff like that using the hashtag PKMNLegacy. My voice is really scratchy today. Anywho, time for some plugs.
Did I already promote Smash on this thing?
No, you have not.
All right, so what I'm going to be promoting for this podcast is my song Smash. It's a Smash Brothers song, and it is pretty hype. So I would highly recommend checking it out if you want something that's very Queens, very Greatest Showman-esque in terms of music, and it has Smash characters. And the animation is awesome. Una did a really amazing job on the animation, so definitely go check that out on my channel.
And a link will be in the description below.
Awesome.
Next episode's in 2 weeks, July 14th. We're going to try to get back to that every 2 week schedule for the foreseeable future. And God, I hope it actually sticks this time. Knock on all the wood. But for now, back to the show. Unpause. And it's about very early in the morning when you guys get there, around 5 a.m.
He once again pats Ginger's head, scratches the back of her ear, and then her chin. I'm going to give you a wonderful treat later. You are a good Pokemon. Back in the bowl you go. And he boops it on her snoodle.
Oops it on her snoodle.
Chris then snaps his neck back towards Maddie.
Hi.
Maddie, I know you were excited,
Uh-huh.
and I know that you were quite startled from whatever possible hallucinations you may have been having.
It was real. It was not a hallucination.
Right, and I'm actually a Pokemon professor, but let's not get into the semantics of this.
You are?
I'm going to have us go back to our rooms. I'm going to sleep, but you are free to stay awake, have breakfast, maybe have more of these cough drops, but not too many, not more than 10 a day. And then that's when things get a little weird.
But
He just like...
But we didn't get to see the stars.
He puts his finger up and he goes full dad mode. He's like, I am going to sleep. You may get breakfast, but no more.
Okay.
And he just starts walking really, well, honestly, he's actually more or less like stumbling because he's really tired.
He's got that dad shuffle going.
Oh, yeah. And he just stumbles really back into the Pokemon Center. It just makes his way back to his room.
Maddie checks to see if he's totally gone. And then she looks at Velma and she's like, Psst, Velma.
Yes.
We have to go see if there are any shooting stars on the ground.
I just had your entire body weight crushing me a couple hours ago.
Please.
Do you know what that does to a person?
Please. Think of all the amazing. Think of all the amazing things we could find.
I'm getting breakfast. I'm too hungry for this.
No.
We'll decide after breakfast.
Fine. But we both know that Chris will not let us go, so now is the only time that we can do it.
Velma just takes a deep sigh. She does the eyebrow pinch thing between her fingers. You're really not gonna drop this, are you?
No.
We get 2 granola bars, we bring them with us.
Yes.
And we'll try. Okay?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay.
Cool. All right.
You two leave Chris to sleep then?
Yes.
Yes.
I absolutely love this. Okay, so Chris, we'll come back to you later. Velma and Maddie, after taking a minute to quietly get the rest of your stuff and get your clothes on so you're not running in your PJs anymore,
Yes.
you two head back to the woods, following the path now that it's just light enough to.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's about 1 or 2 hours on the path of just walking through the woods. The talos are singing. The bedoofs are bedoofing. You eventually see a few trainers, the trainers that you saw leaving the Pokemon Center that night, coming back dejectedly.
Maddie just like runs up to them, like kind of stumbles. She's definitely still a little like woozy. And she's like, "Excuse me?"
Whoa, you okay? Into your elbow, come on.
Velma runs up to her side and holds her up. I apologize for my friend. She's, a little under the weather, as you can tell.
Can you ask them?
Could you tell us what's going on here? Everybody's looking a little, depressed.
Oh yeah, Mogubark got to the star first.
Moba who?
They're just like a big company all throughout the region. And they got to the site first before we could claim it. Truck's parked out there and all taped off now.
Did they now?
So, no star for us. So we're just gonna head back, get some coffee.
Okay, bye.
Or are you still heading over there?
No. We're just, making sure that, she saw Seton lost something back there, so why don't you just bring her back there to make sure she picks it up?
Yep.
Oh. Well, if you're over there, just make sure to stay away from the water. Powerful Pokemon over there. Real mean one.
Oh. Okay, thanks.
We'll keep that in mind. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Alright. And they walk away.
We totally gotta go there now. I know.
Nothing likes Velma's flame more than trying to overturn authorities of any kind.
Let's do it.
The two of you head over there. About 30 minutes later, you come across this sign right in front of what seems to be some sort of old abandoned lumber mill.
Can we read this? What does the sign say?
It's a wooden sign that says Mogubark Mills, and the sign has seen better days.
We should go inside.
Probably. At the very least, it'll get you out of the cold for a little bit.
As you approach the facility, you notice that most of the area is fenced off, as well as taped off with this orange tape marked with this strange logo on it. You're assuming belongs to Mogul Corp. You also hear running water nearby.
Didn't he say to stay away from the water?
Velma turns to Maddie and says,
We don't listen to no one.
and did you say the tape was on the door?
Oh no, it's all around this whole area. The whole facility, which is a relatively big facility for a lumber mill, is taped off.
I want to find the star! And Maddie just runs off towards, like, the direction of the water.
Maddie, come back! And Velma starts running after Maddie and trying to make sure she doesn't get too close to the water.
Maddie and Velma, you stumble down the hills and past the expanse of the lumber mill. You make your way to what seems to be a pond filled with tied-up logs. Very active with wildlife. Look at all these guys. You got the bee-doofs on the logs and on the ramp leading up to the main facility, and then you got some Paris skittering about in the underbrush.
Look at them go.
Velma.
Yes, Maddie.
Look at they have mushrooms on their backs. I told you.
All right, so you did see a Pokemon. Okay, now we've confirmed it.
I did not hallucinate.
With you yelling so much, all the Pokemon have their eyes on you. They are very tense right now.
Velma sees all the Pokemon, gives herself a little, well, it don't seem that dangerous.
He said that I was sick, and I know that I am sick, but I am not hallucinating.
Maddie?
Because this really happened.
Maddie?
They are right there, and I see them. They are so cute.
Maddie?
And this is so.
Maddie!
What?
Listen, we're still trying not to get caught in this area, so shush!
I want you two to make a quick check.
So I got a -1. Interesting. Okay.
I got it too.
Velma, you hear the skittering in the underbrush behind the Paris much sooner than Maddie does. And you have the good sense to step out of the way as this creature comes running towards Maddie and headbutts her to the ground.